Hi, welcome to this practice to improve breathing. We're going to really focus on improving the space here for the movement of the diaphragm, which is the primary muscle for breathing. And so we're going to work with this muscular pattern that can develop in our bodies where we kind of come into this slumped posture. And as you can see, that really creates kind of a constriction or a restriction here for our diaphragmatic movement. So we're going to go through a gentle movement practice to create more space and freedom for our breath. This is also a great practice to relieve low back pain, shoulder pain, and hip pain, as we're going to just go into this lovely practice of connecting the spinal movement with our shoulders and our hips. So we're going to lie down on our back. And letting your legs be bent here. The knees and the feet are hip distance apart. And begin by taking a few breaths, letting your hands rest right at the bottom of the rib cage, connecting with the movement of the diaphragm. And as you inhale, just feeling that diaphragm moving down into the abdominal cavity. And as you exhale, that diaphragm moves back up and under the rib cage. So just really being curious about sensing and feeling that movement of the diaphragm. And just take note of the quality of the breath here. Is it fast or slow? Shallow or deep? Jagged or smooth? Take a moment to scan your body, noticing any other areas that stand out, places of tension, restriction. And we'll return to this after the movement practice for you to notice any change. So we'll let the arms come down to the sides now. And we'll start with this movement of the spine. So we're going to come into this little pelvic tilt, this pelvis that is tilting forward. So we're creating this arch in the back. And you can feel the tension in the back as you come into this. The muscles going into contraction. And we're going to slowly release that. Let the back float down gently. Pause and take a breath. Now we're going the opposite way. So that pelvis tilts so that the back begins to flatten, and you'll begin to feel contraction now in the front abdominals and the shoulders lifting. So you can feel that in the upper torso too. So it's this contraction, feeling that tension in all the muscles in the front of the body. And slowly release. Pause, take a breath. And we'll go back and forth there. A few more times. Arching and release. After each release, pause, take a full breath in neutral. I will allow you to begin to sense and feel more where your neutral organic spine is, that alignment. So really focusing on the release with these movements, the letting go of the muscle tension. Good. So now we're going to move into the movement of the arms a little bit more. So we're going to think about moving and rotating the arms from the upper arm bone, kind of a rolling pin-like motion. So you're going to roll the arms internally, that internal rotation. You'll feel the shoulders lift and release. And then just externally rotate as far as it's comfortable. And just explore that a couple more times. Go as slow as you can here. The slower you go, the more we can let go of the tension in the muscles. Really focusing. Really paying attention. Sensing and feeling your body. Okay, and now we're going to connect this arm movement with that spinal movement. So as you internally rotate those arms in and the shoulders lift, you'll come into that pelvic tilt, so your back is flattening and you're contracting in all the muscles in the front of your body. And then release. And then as the arms externally rotate, returning to that arch of the back. And release. Just going back and forth there, exploring that relationship between the arm and shoulder movement and that spinal movement. We're working with the muscle patterns here, all the flexor muscles in the front of the body working together, those extensor muscles in the back working together. Good. And finding neutral. Take a breath. We'll move into some hip movement now. We'll let the legs gently open and close. Okay, now we're going to put that leg movement together with the spinal movement. As we arch the back, the legs open. And slowly release. And as the legs close, the back flattens and the muscles in the front contract. Okay, and now let's connect the shoulder and arm movement with the spinal movement and the hip movement. As we arch the back, the legs and arms externally rotate open, like a flower blooming out, and then slowly release and blooming in. Really focusing on releasing tension, increasing our mobility. Creating more space and freedom for the diaphragm to function. And our diaphragm is a core stabilizer. So as we increase the function of the diaphragm, it also helps stabilize us. Improving our balance, connecting our lower body and our upper body. Just really making this a nice, slow, luxurious movement. Good, and then ending with that blooming in and the release. And returning to neutral. Just bringing the hands back to rest on the bottom of the rib cage there, reconnecting with the breath and movement of the diaphragm. And just taking a moment to notice any change, remembering the quality of the breath when we first checked in. Do you have more space and freedom in your body? More space and freedom for your breath? Just continue to breathe here as long as it feels comfortable.